They caught these witches on camera eating a deer. A deer
What?
carcass. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on camera and everything. Yeah,
Witches
Topless.
eating a deer?
Yeah,
Venison's
Like
good.
raw?
raw deer. Two of them,
Like what
Yeah.
kind of a raw deer?
like
Like,
laying in the yard, like eating it.
roadkill, or are we
Something
talking
like that.
roadkill, or are we talking like hunting? I mean,
Says
just
on
gonna
the-
say,
What the fuck is wrong with people?
okay, it's an old hunting tradition with your first kill that you bite the heart.
Yeah.
Like when you're
It's not
bleeding,
really. That's
a lot of
no
people
one
do
does
it.
that.
Yeah, a lot of people do it. It's a thing that a lot of people still do.
A
It's
couple people have done
two
it.
half-naked women appearing to dine on a corpse. Yeah, apparently.
okay. Okay, now which half was naked? I mean, it's summertime. A lot of people wearing
Looking at
shorts.
the
A little
photos
tiny.
here. I don't
I
know
don't
if
know
you
if we
can
can put the photos on YouTube.
can't put them on YouTube.
Can-
You might be able to. There's not showing much of anything here. Just their
Okay.
just topless, actually.
Okay, well that's
That's not half naked.
it's a good start.
Okay, it's summer. A lot of girls wear like crop tops and shorts. There is more skin showing than covered.
Yeah,
So-
but those girls aren't eating deer raw in the yard.
So that affects the quantification of nudity? What the hell? You
I
quantify
think it's
nudity
fine.
based
The
on
photos,
dietary
yeah.
habits?
They're topless.
This
Yeah,
is this is totally crazy stuff.
probably the craziest story of the week, and it's international headlines.
International headlines, and that's I'm up here in Wells, British Columbia, and I have no idea what's going on in the outside world. I tell you, no idea, and for good reason, because
Yeah.
I try to put a lot of distance between me and the
And naked
raw
women?
animal eating freaks of Powell River. My God, people.
Yeah. Crazy.
Okay, come on, load, you pizza chip.
Okay, so let's start with this, Brandon.
All right.
So you know what we're looking at here, and I know what we're looking at. So tell the public what we're looking at here, and then what we're going to do.
Yes. So we have the big fire in the Tumbler Ridge area. We've got evacuation. I'm just going to go pull up the emergency alert thingy here that I got from this area here. We've got evacuation route, evacuation via Highway 29 only, as Highway 52 is now closed. Emergency alert issued for a district of Tumbler Ridge, Peace River Regional District due to a wildfire. So these folks of Tumbler Ridge need to evacuate immediately and east, including Bear Hole Lake, west Kiskanawi River.
Kiskatinaw.
Yes, what you said there poses a threat to human life. So anyone in evacuation order must leave the area and report to reception center in Dawson Creek at the, I'm going to mess this one up too, Oventiv Center. I might have got that one right. Evacuate via Highway 29 only, as Highway 52 is now closed.
So you go up to Tumbler Ridge, and of course, everyone who lives in Dawson, everyone who lives in Tumbler knows where Chetwynd is.
Yep.
And then they know how to get to Dawson Creek from there. But I'm showing you because you are maybe not from here. So then you go up to Chetwynd, and then you can take the 97 highway across, and that brings you to Dawson Creek.
Oh yeah.
British Columbia. So what's interesting about this, and I would suggest that this is probably a fire too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so.
That's fire. Yeah, it's fire.
So what's going on here once again is something that I'd never really seen so much, and it's fires that are going from east to west. So we're having a lot of easterlies.
Mhm.
And this is the situation. So we're going to play the loop for you now. And you see, basically, this is the smoke on radar. And this is what, obviously, fire activity was really extreme at that time. It's settled maybe a little bit now as it's getting cooler in the afternoon. And you can see the fire is definitely approaching the town. Somewhere in there in that front is where the actual fire is. And so we don't really know what the situation is right now for Tumbler Ridge. Saturday is when they're saying, or Sunday is when they're saying that proper weather may return to westerlies, northwesterlies, or something like that. Is that not correct, Brandon?
Yeah, something like that will probably return to a westerly flow, probably late day Saturday as the ridge starts to collapse a little bit into next week. So that is some good, a little bit of good news, but the thing we do need is a lot of rain in these areas once again. So it's dried out quite a bit.
Well, yeah, so you have a fire moving east to west towards Tumbler Ridge, and that's happening. Probably that behavior that, I mean, we have no significant change in the temperature for tomorrow, right? And humidity is very low. So those that's what we know to be crossover. When 30 degrees Celsius and the humidity drops below 30%, that's when you get really extreme fire behavior. If you add some 30-kilometer-an-hour winds to that, my goodness, things are bad. So, and the reports I was hearing was that it was very windy in Tumbler.
Yep.
So we'll close that for now. Oops. And I'll find the next thing here. So welcome. Thanks everybody for the thumbs up. Please share and subscribe and tell your friends. And look here, leave a comment and we'll try to answer you. So if you have questions, that's we are really willing to read them and see what we can say. Okay, I got to move our faces here. So here's BC wildfire map. I can't zoom to full extent for some reason. That's
yep.
Of course.
Those are the fires for Tumbler Ridge there. Yeah.
So these don't appear to be updated. That's too bad. There doesn't seem to be like a, how come you can't make it full screen? What are you beeping about there, Brandon?
Well, this is the fire in Alberta, Yellowhead County getting evacuated.
Where's Yellowhead County? That's west of Edmonton.
Yeah, west of Edmonton. This is at McLeod Valley getting evacuated. So this just north of Yellowhead Highway between Edson and Neilton Junction here. Just north of the Yellowhead Highway at Piers, Alberta there. So that's so yeah. Right, Yellowhead, right along the Yellowhead Highway there, just north of there. Between Edmonton and Edson, Alberta.
Lots of fires going right now. 500,000 hectares so far burning in BC. That's definitely pretty high. A lot of it not burning currently in 99% of that probably is in northern BC. But what my concern is, Brandon, with the temperatures we're seeing, what we're going to have tomorrow happen in terms of fire starts, because the FMCs are really dry. The fine fuel moisture codes, the Duff moisture code, very high. Drought moisture codes, very high.
Yeah.
If we start getting a lot of lightning, what's going to happen?
Yeah, we're going to get some more fire sparking up, and I think there's a chance of dry thunderstorms where that Tumbler Ridge is tomorrow. So that will, there they are right there popping up tomorrow afternoon. So we'll have to keep an eye on that area for more ignition for fires.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit more rain at least involved in southern BC.
Yeah, southwestern Alberta could get at least 50 plus millimeters of rain tomorrow with thunderstorms.
Wow.
So we could have flash flood issues in the southwestern corner of the province, while other areas we're going to be hot and dry, smoky, and potentials there for more fires to spark up. Yeah.
Well, here you go at 4 p.m., 27 degrees at Tumbler expected. So that could give you very aggressive fire behavior as it is.
Yep.
And the smoke, because of the conditions that are atmospherically correct, will probably itself create thunderstorms. Good guess.
Dry, yeah. Smoke would likely produce those dry lightning strikes. So you don't get the dry lightning strikes, no rain. And yeah.
So pyrocumulonimbus activity, definitely a concern for anywhere in the Mackenzie area, Williston, Tumbler Ridge. Good luck. I mean, I don't know how this is going to play out. It doesn't seem good right now. I don't like to hit the panic buttons for everybody, but we also have to be really real about what can happen and not be surprised in the times that it does happen. Sometimes I'm more surprised these things don't happen more. So expanding lightning, definitely up there. More rain in southern BC, like you say. So that's pretty nice. Up by Fort Nelson, we could see maybe some of the same things because we have fires burning up there. That might produce their own thunderstorms. Just guessing.
Yeah.
So it looks like we're getting a pass here kind of in Wells on Friday. The forecast is waffled on that one a few times.
Yep.
And, this isn't really significant rain, is it?
No, it looks like it's fairly light rain. When you start getting those greens and yellows there, that's when the rain gets a little bit heavier. So probably in the Blue River area, we'll probably get some good thunderstorms there. And then we'll have to watch Alberta into Saturday for another round of thunderstorms, possibly severe weather in a few locations on Saturday as that frontal system pushes in out of BC. And then into Sunday as well, looks like we've got another chance of sparking a few thunderstorms, possibly a few isolated severe storms for the weekend here with the heat that continues in parts of Alberta. So we've got heat warnings draped right across the province, especially air quality statements as well, right across the province. So it's going to be hot, a little thundery, a little bit of action here and there, a little smoky. That kind of weekend in Alberta. Rodeo weekend in Brooks.
People have been asking me a lot. Look at 5 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Good morning.
That's right.
Boom.
Wake up call.
And again, southern BC. And no significant, wow, some of those thunderstorms. Look at that, Calgary High River. Drumheller. Nothing looking too crazy in BC. Lots of lightning. Maybe not very much rain.
Oh, yeah. So that's that ridge breaking down for next week. And then we get into that unsettled pattern where we need some June monsoons around here. Some areas of Alberta. Torrential rain.
We're going to get it.
I think we'll get it. Oh, yeah. Southwestern Alberta. We'll start off with southwestern Alberta this weekend with 50 millimeters of rain tomorrow.
Tuesday, 5 p.m. Yeah, when does Wells get a turn for some lightning? Maybe that's it. Look at America. It's just been thunderstorm city down there every day.
Oh, yeah.
Thunderstorm. Crazy.
Storms for everybody.
You get a thunderstorm and you get a thunderstorm. Everyone gets a thunderstorm.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch that.
I hate Oprah Winfrey, by the way.
She didn't give you a car?
She's a con artist. Oh, look at that. There's some June monsoons for you. Wednesday, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
How many crazy storms is Saskatchewan going to get?
They've had quite a bit. This whole last week here, they've had a storm almost every day, severe weather every day for the last 10 days.
Yeah, like last time we were all talking.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that June monsoon set up there. Storms, you get torrential rain, cooler air moving in from the north. So that's going to bring down all the smoke. It's going to be not that great, but I guess, but with that northerly flow, it'll definitely cool things off significantly. And could even get some wet snow, higher elevations there in the Columbia ice fields Wednesday and a Thursday of next week.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, that's for the Columbia.
But probably.
It's much colder up the Columbia ice fields. Like usually when it's really, really hot, you go up there. I think it's higher than Wells there. And it's like 11 degrees for a daytime high. Everybody's
like twice as high as Wells.
Coats and toques and mittens, and then you go down to the valley bottom and you have to take all the gear off. It's so hot. Yeah. It's a weird little area. Weird indeed.
Yeah. Hi, everybody watching. In 11 minutes, Frankie McDonald will be here. And we'll probably review all these same stories because we'll be hitting record to start recording for our radio show and TV show and our show that we make, our show.
The show of the show.
Speaking of things that rhyme with show, El Nino.
It showed up today.
Just today it showed up. But you're not kidding. I got the climate.gov news features blogs thing right here. I'm looking right at it and it says, and so update, El Nino is here, published June 8th, so it's here. What does that mean, Brandon? El Nino conditions have developed as the atmospheric response to the warmer than average tropical Pacific Sea surface kicked over in the past month. We expect El Nino to continue into winter, and the odds of it becoming a strong event at its peak are pretty good at 56%. Chances of at least a moderate event are at 84%. El Nino, the warm phase of the El Nino-La Nina pattern, changes global atmospheric circulation in known ways, giving us an idea of potential upcoming weather and climate change patterns. A stronger El Nino means global temperatures, rain, and other patterns are more likely to reflect the expected El Nino impacts. I'll get into some of those details later in this episode. The circus is in town.
The El Nino circus.
Okay.
El Nino.
What do you got to say about the El Nino tonight?
About the El Nino. Well, typically means more fires, more heat for Western Canada. So summer probably could be looking like a big fire season. So this is like a preview. It's early.
This Nino's early.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So explain to people what the Nino means.
So the El Nino
Ninos
typically means when the Pacific Ocean is warmer than average, especially the right around the equator, and then can indicate that we could be in for a lot of heat, a lot of dryness, fires, and it could also impact severe weather as well. So it could even sometimes make severe weather even more intense, which could lead to more tornadoes for some of us weather folks who like tornadoes. And yeah, it can impact the weather scenario for summertime, and in the wintertime, it can sometimes indicate a dry, below average snowfall in the winter. El Nino, Western Canada.
You see this blob of heat off the coast of South America, and then it does this shit. It just goes this way.
Well, and then the other thing is in the Pacific side of things, that could ramp up the hurricane season in the Pacific side, while the Atlantic hurricane season can dwindle a little bit there. But yeah, so it could be an active year for hurricanes in the Pacific side.
We'll come back to this El Nino topic, and I'll draw more crazy things Because look
Crazy
at,
things.
here's me drawing crazy things, and here's the El Nino going to here, and everything's getting angry. Urgh. Yeah. Okay. We'll get back to that in a minute.
Scary.
However, we were talking about Saskatchewan, and
Oh,
who
yeah.
do we have from Saskatchewan right now but Hank Bleastra himself, the Saskatchewan guy. Wilkie
Hey,
Saskatchewan guy. Hey, Hank. You were taking
I
some
have
photos of
a-
some thunderstorms this week.
I have a question. Why
No,
is it
I asked you a question. Okay, what's your question?
what?
What's
Sorry,
your
what?
question?
Why is it so smoky?
Oh,
Oh, I know. Okay,
Oh,
it's because
oh.
objects are on fire.
oh yeah. And that cold front
Anyway,
of the
yeah.
upper flow is changing to the north, and that's allowing smoke to go right back to the south.
I wasn't quite expecting the amount of smoke I'm seeing this evening. But my coworker, who's in one of my coworkers, one of my kind of supervisor type people at work, is in Fort St. John, BC, and he told me that it got really thick smoke there again today.
Mhm.
Kind of going back to really bad, like they had, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or so.
Well, they did
And I
about
was
3
like,
weeks
oh,
ago,
great.
and that's where I was, and it was really bad. It took me my lungs a couple weeks to kind of come back to normal a little bit. It was definitely that
Mhm.
thick, heavy
And I was
heavy
thinking,
smoke, and then maybe like a 10 days of it,
has it.
and then the rain came, and it was so
I'm going to be getting that. I'm going to be getting smoke again pretty soon.
I think we're kind of losing you or something there, Hank.
Mm.
Oh yeah, so when the weather changed to rain, after 10 days of that thick smoke, it really went into my lungs. It was so Fort St. John definitely had it bad. Yeah. You had some thunderstorm pics this week. You were watching some storms, Hank? I think we kind of lost him or something.
He's
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, he
froze.
froze. He's gone. Oh no,
Oh, there he is.
he's twitchy.
Yeah, twitchy.
Hank, your Zoom is twitching.
I'm having not the greatest connection. Just, can you hear me?
We can hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay. We have had a nice start to storm season in Saskatchewan. We had some pretty impressive early June storms in the Saskatoon area on, what was it, Saturday. And there was a nice shelf cloud, very menacing. And it dropped a lot of rain in a short amount of time on Saskatoon, and they had flooded underpasses and stuff like that. And I got to see it with one of my friends, Cynthia Salgado. The two of us were touring around watching from the edges of things rather than getting rained and hailed on. And it was good. It was a really good display. So that was nice to see. But now we got smoke moving back in. And as far as storm chasing goes, it ruins things pretty bad. Just not being able to see what's coming, not being able to see the sky very well. At nighttime, I think you can still get some good lightning photography in the smoke. I haven't done a lot of that, but I just have a feeling lightning is so bright and vivid that that'll kind of cut through the smoke and we'll still be able to see that okay. So I guess I can, if it gets really smoky again, concentrate on looking for nocturnal stuff. And that's fun too. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. I shouldn't monopolize the whole conversation, right, Brandon?
Well, we're in the pre-show here. We're
Oh, yeah.
waiting we're waiting for Frankie. So we're just sort of twiddling thumbs for a few minutes and looking at all the weather stories, but definitely we're really concerned about Tumbler Ridge and the development of that fire as we're looking at on radar scope, and we'll revisit again in a few minutes how the fire is really moving west. It's got an easterly wind. It's pushing it west. So the town is really in danger, but it looks like maybe the fire's calmed a little bit down at this hour. I don't know. That's what the radar kind of shows.
Mhm.
We
Now
don't
we're
really know
heading
what's
into
going on, right? So
we're heading into a hot, dry period in Saskatchewan. I noticed Alberta's somehow getting storms like Alberta tends to do, but in my area, I'm not expecting a single storm until maybe Monday, probably Tuesday next week. Just going to be hot and dry, hot and dry, hot and dry every day.
my
We've
God.
had our share of rain in the last week.
Okay, well, it is 6:59 and Frankie McDonald has arrived. Evening, Frankie.
Right now, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning in UK.
That's right. That's right. So we don't want to have our friends in the UK waiting any longer. I'm going to hit record here in a second and we're going to get started. Okay, Frank McDonald? Okay. And I'll get everyone to maybe mute for a minute, just so we don't have any ambient noise for the introductions here. And record to the cloud. Good morning, Prince George, and good afternoon, Winnipeg. Hello, Kamloops. Good evening. Hello, good morning, good evening, whenever at a Shaw Spotlight. I'm not, you seem to play us a lot, I think, or do you? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm talking about. That's why I get to host a show, because I have no idea. I'm Joey Only, your host here. The Comedeorological Report. Comedy plus meteorology equals comedeorology. It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. The weather is funny business, so naturally it would be really brilliant to have a show called Comedy, Meteorology, Comedeorology. Mix the two together. You get it. I came up with it. Frankie liked it. We made a show. Frankie McDonald, he's here with us. We got some big headlines going on tonight. There's mass evacuations happening. 2,400 people that affects in Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia. We're very concerned about the development of that fire. Winds pushing the right direction. That would be the helpful direction for the people of Tumbler Ridge. Don't seem to be coming until Saturday. So we don't really know what's going on right now, but people are being evacuated north through the Chetwynd and to Dawson Creek. So there's a reception center set up there. That's what's going on at this hour right now, and very concerning news. We were looking at the radar scope images of the smoke and talking about that before the show, and we will show you some of that later on in the episode. But first, I got to do the hellos. Thank you, CFBX. And hey, thank you. You're listening to a CFUR 88.7 Prince George, CFBX 92.5 Kamloops, and CKUW. My God, what's CKUW? Joe Stover will know because he's showing up right now. Joe, what's CKUW's number?
95.9 FM.
Dear Lord, Joe, you sound so different.
Joe Stover, what's CKUW's radio dial number?
I can't hear him.
I can't hear Joe.
I appreciate that when Joey.
I thought we had a good timing thing happening with Joe showing up. I thought it would be, but really I just sort of blew the segment.
I'm sorry. Yeah. My USB thing went all funky, so I'm trying to get back into it so I can actually hear people talk.
Funky USB. Okay, you're listening to us on 88.7 FM in Prince George Saturday mornings, and CKW 95.9 FM in Winnipeg on Monday afternoons at noon, and you're hearing us on CFBX 92.5 in Kamloops Monday evenings, thank you, everybody. And you can see us on Shaw Spotlight, down Victoria and greater region, things like that. So thank you, all you broadcasters, for putting up with me being gone while I was fighting fires. And well, I'll be honest, after I renew my Danger Tree Assessor ticket next week, I'm probably going to disappear again for some firefighting. So that's what this summer is going to be like. It's going to be probably a pretty burny one. That's what we're talking about tonight on the Comedeorological Report. Why is it so smoky is what Hank Leistra wanted to know. And I told him clearly the answer is because there are objects, many of them, that are on fire. So everyone everywhere who's been emailing me the question, why is it so smoky? Now you know. Things are on fire. That's why. Okay. And we'll tell you which things through the episode. But first, let me introduce you to the cast tonight. We got Imogen Cookie Bailey down there in Victoria. We got Hank Leistra, who's out in Saskatchewan. We got Joe Stover up in Churchill, Manitoba. And we got Brandon Hauk in Brooks, Alberta. And number one weatherman in the whole world, Frankie McDonald. How you doing so far?
I'm doing great so far. So much smoke going on in New York City. It's almost looked like another planet-like color in New York City. They had to cancel all the ball games and things like this because there's so much smoke up in the sky in New York City, things like this. It's really bad there.
New York City is another planet.
It's almost look like another planet. It's like there's so much smoke coming from Canada from the Quebec fires, driving all the smoke all the way to Ontario, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and all these places. Even Washington, D.C. caused a lot of smoke. It was really bad fires in New York City, and smoke in New York City from the fires. People can't even see. They have to wear masks outside to protect themselves and things like this. Because the sky is light brown, orange, light color.
What's been happening to the fires in Nova Scotia this week, Frankie?
Nova Scotia is no longer having the fires. It had a lot of rain earlier in the week, put all the fires out and things like this.
That's good news. People were pretty worried there.
People were worried in Nova Scotia, things like this. And did you hear about this? It's cooler than average temperatures in California right now. So much fires going on in Siberia, Russia right now.
How many fires are going on in Siberia, Russia right now, Frankie? Do you know?
A lot of fires going on in Siberia, Russia right now. So much fires going down right now in Siberia.
I'm trying to look up a map, but it's not working. So, Frankie, what's going on in Canada this week? Tell me about Canadian weather this week.
Right now, it's going to bring cooler than average temperatures in British Columbia, driving all the hot air all the way up to Northwest Territories and things like this. It's warmer than average temperatures up in Churchill.
Yeah. What about Ontario? Been fires going on
A lot of
there?
smoke going on in Ontario right now. A lot of smoke can drive all the way to Norway.
All the way to Norway?
Yeah,
What are they going to do about our smoke?
that means sometimes the smoke can drive all the way up to North Pole too.
What about the thunderstorms in the United States, Frankie?
A lot of thunderstorms in central states right now, causing large hail damage, winds, and tornadoes and things like this.
What about El Nino, Frankie?
It's getting stronger. It's now upgraded to El Nino alert, and it's getting stronger right now. Soon be declared an El Nino event.
I think today they officially declared it an El Nino event, didn't they?
Yeah,
Is that what they declared it, Brandon?
Yeah.
Yes.
An El Nino event. So that was today, Frankie. We were talking about that before the show. So I should have shaved because now little things are making my face itchy at times. And then I want to touch my face. And then I'm like, wait, I'm on screen. Why am I touching my face?
This southern hemisphere summer coming up in southeastern Australia is going to bring a lot of brush fires and things like this. This summer coming up in southern hemisphere, it's going to bring more typhoons to Japan, Philippines, Guam, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, and all these places. And China's going to get a lot more typhoons. So is Korea, Vladivostok, Russia, Malaysia, and Russia's going to get a lot of typhoons too.
How come they don't name El Ninos like El Nino Pam?
So El Nino says it's going to bring above average typhoon season in Pacific this year.
What's going on in Ukraine this week for weather, Frankie?
Right now, it's getting warm air, cold air fighting each other in Ukraine right now.
What's going on in England?
Right now in England, it's getting dry weather in England right now, too.
What about in France?
In
Same
France,
thing?
Same thing.
Okay, France, same thing. What about in Antarctica? It must be fully dark there. It must be really miserably cold there right now.
Yeah, lots of showers going on in Ukraine right now. And they got the showers and windy conditions in Ukraine. Over in England, there's a chance of showers headed for you. England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, things like this. And France is getting thunderstorms and showers right now. So is Italy. They're getting showers and thunderstorms there right now, too.
Is this going to be the...
Then it got some warm air in parts of Norway and things like this. Right now, it's cold outside. It's going to gradually warm up Norway, Finland, Sweden. And Moscow, Russia is going to get warm weather, too.
Is this going to be the worst fire season in Canadian history, Frankie?
Don't know yet. It's going to be really, really bad all across British Columbia. Vancouver might even be orange-looking color sky because of the fires.
Yeah, it could happen. It was pretty smoky down in Vancouver this week, I heard people saying. People were writing me, why is it so smoky? I said that things are on fire.
Vancouver, British Columbia, they had to cancel events in Vancouver, British Columbia because of so much fires and smoke in Vancouver, British Columbia back in 2015. They had to cancel all special events outside.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was
Frankie,
that from BC fire? BC fires causing smoke at Vancouver? Is that what it's from? Is it from BC?
I don't know, Frankie. I heard your question.
Lots of smoke going on in New York City right now, Washington, D.C.
Yeah, New York is crazy. The picture, I mean, I can understand that kind of smoke in DC and Edmonton, but New York City, I haven't seen that before.
Looks like the planet Mars.
Looks like a planet Mars to me.
Well, maybe it kind of is like Mars in some ways, you know, like
Bunch of weirdos walking around.
some way. Frankie, did you make any videos this week?
That means, I know, people starting false rumors about Frankie Dell started forest fires. It's not true. I had to address the false rumors.
Yeah, well, obviously Frankie McDonald didn't start forest fires because he doesn't go anywhere but downtown Sydney.
Frankie didn't start the fires. They were always burning since the world's been turning.
Like,
That's
obviously, every night you're on a podcast walking around downtown Sydney, Nova Scotia. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how could you have started any fires in the other side of Nova Scotia?
I did not start fires at all. People starting false rumors or Frankie Dell started false forest fires. And did you hear about this? There's some of the individuals out there down in the States photoshopped my face on a guy with a flamethrower. It's not true at all. I had to address all those false rumors.
You've never used a flamethrower, have you, Frankie?
Never.
Well,
Not
Frank,
once. Are you sure? You got a big smile. Are you sure you haven't used a flamethrower like a couple
I did
times?
not use flamethrowers at all.
Frankie, how about this? Next time we hang out, I'll show you how to use a flamethrower. You'll get really good at it. You can write your name in the snow with a flamethrower. I mean, thunderstorms are more your thing than forest fire, but I'll get you set up, man. I got you on this one.
I could just see him with the flamethrower. Be prepared.
And did you hear about this? I can lose. But yeah, I did not use a flamethrower. Those individuals out there starting false rumors down in the States.
No, it was more like a bazooka you used, wasn't it, Frankie?
So those people doing photoshops for no reason down in the States. It's not true at all.
Yeah, those aren't the good photoshops. I like seeing the photoshops of you, like, you know, you're on the beach and you're on planet Jupiter and you're, on top of the Mount Everest, but the photoshops of you with a flamethrower starting fires, that's not true at all.
Not true at all.
Well, I don't know. I kind of like the photoshops of Frankie with a flamethrower starting fires, even though I know it's not true at all.
Even though it's not true, I saw Frankie put
I
out
had
a
to
video
address all the-
statement.
And I just made a statement addressing the false rumors about this. I did not start the fires at all on social media.
You heard it here second.
I gotta say, my personal favorite Frankie photoshops are the ones of him at Club Med surrounded by women in bikinis. This is how I see Frankie. I see Frankie at the beach, at the pool, just women flocking to him. Please tell me those ones are all true, Frankie.
And did you hear about this? I'm talking about the guy with the flamethrower. It's not true.
Yeah, well,
Someone
they got the
bad guy
flamethrower. Just to be clear, it's not true.
In
Maybe
case
a little.
in case he didn't make it clear.
Maybe a little bit true, but not really true.
Not real. It's not true at all. I did not use flamethrowers at all.
You heard it
Okay.
here. You heard it here fourth.
But can you use a flamethrower? Would you? Please?
No.
Not even if you're like doing roofing or like melting tar, fixing concrete. There's got to be a practical use. Starting a fire.
What if Frankie, what if somebody needed to, they wanted to light a cigarette and they didn't have a lighter and you said, "Here's my flamethrower."
No, I don't use flamethrowers at all. Somebody photoshopped it on my head onto somebody else's body. It's not true. I'm
Not
gonna
true.
address all those rumors. Those guys doing that.
Not true.
If you
folks.
accidentally
Not
went
true.
back in time, Frankie McDonald, like fell into some time warp or you experienced some sort of temporal phenomenon and ended up in June 6th, 1944, 79 years ago, 2 days ago, and you found yourself with a flamethrower and there's a bunker full of Germans. And what do you do, Frankie?
Not Nazis. Nazis.
Those
Germans
guys-
are okay. Nazis, not okay.
Okay, well, let's be clear. Do you use the flamethrower, Frankie, or do you ask another guy? Do you hand it to him and say, "I don't use flamethrowers"?
I don't use flamethrowers at all. Somebody photoshopped my face onto somebody's body with a flamethrower. It's not true. Those guys making false rumors. I
How
had
many-
to address the statement.
How many times does he have to tell you people he didn't start the fire? It was always burning since the world's been turning.
Well, we do know that Frankie was at karaoke singing that last week, wasn't he?
Yes, last night I was singing the karaoke. We didn't start the fire.
That's topical, buddy. Very well done. Well done.
So, like, you're in print, in video, on podcast, on karaoke, by song. Frankie is affirming 100% that it is not true. He did not start fires with a flamethrower. So now that is cleared up. Any other videos you make this week, Frankie?
And another video I did is promoting, and I'm doing great so far. I didn't have a chance of doing the videos this week.
Right. Not even a little bit of flamethrowing?
No,
Okay.
I just addressed the false rumors on social media. Those guys starting false rumors. Well, Frank Dell started forest fires with me holding a flamethrower. And somebody photoshopped my head on top of the guy holding the flamethrower. It's not true.
No, if you were gonna you would use a drip torch, wouldn't you? Not a flamethrower. Brandon Hauk, how you doing over there? What's going on in Tumbler Ridge right now?
Well, I'll talk about Tumbler Ridge here in just a second.
No,
Speaking of
I'm asking
karaoke-
right now.
Speaking of karaoke, I am going to be judging the karaoke finals on Saturday night. I hope Frankie McDonald is there singing that song. We didn't start the fire. Just saying.
My God, you have to judge karaoke?
Yeah, it's going to be fun, right?
Oh,
Right? How bad can it be?
It's a
Judging.
always bad.
It's the price of celebrity, right, Brandon?
That's right.
It's why I
It's
stopped
like the Simon
drinking,
Cowell
so I'd
up
never
there. I
have
can
to
be a
go
very
near
mean judge,
karaoke again.
I could be as very mean. Oh, yes. I was a referee and the kids didn't like me after I refereed their game. as I call so many penalties.
You're definitely more of the Paula Abdul kind of judge.
Oh, I can get me.
You're 100% the Paula Abdul. You like everyone and you want to be friends with everyone and you want to see the goodness in the performance, even if there
Probably
is
more
none.
so Howie Mandel. I'd probably be more, even though he follows me on the Twitter here. So I'm trying to get advice from Howie Mandel, but we'll see how that plays out.
Okay,
So,
name dropping. Let's talk weather.
yeah, weather. So we'll talk about Tumbler Ridge here. They're under evacuation right now because of a major fire is broken out in the Tumbler Ridge area, and this is a dangerous situation for everybody in the Tumbler Ridge area where the evacuations are taking place. So there are only two exit out of Highway 29. The whole community of Tumbler Ridge is probably evacuated by now. Highway 29 to 52 is now closed. So they're going to have to try an alternate route, evacuate if you're in the district of Tumbler Ridge east, including Bear Hole Lake. So that's the area of potential for a major fire that is moving through this area, and it's moving quite quickly with the easterly kind of northeasterly flow that we have on this fire moving into Tumbler Ridge there. We've got another fire off to the northeast as well, and there's a lot of smoke going around in this area. So it's going to cause some fairly poor visibility. So the area marked in red under the evacuation at this time. And everyone needs to, if you're in Tumbler Ridge, and probably when this thing airs by next week, they should be in Dawson Creek, British Columbia there. So that's where the evacuation reception center is at. Dawson Creek at the Oventive Center. Dawson Creek is the evacuation center there.
So that's going on. What else you got for us this week, Brandon?
And then we've got another fire evacuation taking place in Alberta on the Alberta side. This is for Yellowhead County for areas of McLeod River being evacuated right now. And they're being sent to east East Bank Road, that whole area. You haven't really put a reception center on here. Oh yeah, it's Piers, Alberta. That's in Yellowhead County between Edmonton and Edson there. And then we've got some active weather here in the south. Pull that up here. Do this. And I'm going to do that. Or I'll share the whole screen. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Do that. So we've got some pretty potent little storms near Milk River there. So there's a nasty little storm there. We'll show you this is kind of the edge of it. This is the webcam shot looking at Milk River about, say, 33 minutes ago. If that's going to load, there's a little bit of scud up there on that cell as it pushes its way through. So that's the cell at Milk River there. And then, it's not, let me close that. There we go. And then we'll show you the story at Dawson Creek as well. Got a couple other cells near Airdrie there, one near Drumheller. It's been an active day today. And then I'll show you what the smoke situation looks like at Dawson Creek. I was going to show Tumbler Ridge, but you can see Dawson Creek there. That's the smoke situation there at Dawson Creek. So it's gotten very smoky in the last hour or so with the fire from Tumbler Ridge there. So there's that. And over the next couple of days, we're going to be dealing with multiple rounds of thunderstorms in southern portions of the province. We could be dealing with the potential for a significant amount of rain. I'm going to go back to the share thing here and do that. All right. So we'll pull up the share thing. We'll see if I can change it to a future forecaster here. I got to move this over. We can't see ya. Okay, so we're going to see that significant rain to the southwestern corner of the province, especially into Friday with multiple rounds of thunderstorms. Take the webcams off, and I'll show you the potential for significant rain and thunderstorms. We could be dealing with a few strong thunderstorms west of Edmonton late Saturday afternoon, and again into Sunday as well. Could see a couple rounds of strong thunderstorms pushing into southern Alberta next week. The heat's going to be on. We've got heat warnings out. Temperatures pushing mid to upper 20s, and then I'll show you the rainfall accumulation as well for the next 5 days. And right in the Cardston area, we're looking at least 70 to potentially 80 millimeters of rain to fall in the next couple of days, with multiple rounds of rain and thunderstorms there. So that is what we are going to be contending with for the next few days. The heat's going to continue. And as you see there, there's the temperatures, mid to upper 20s, low 30s. That looks like it's going to cool down just a tad into Monday, but then ramp back up again late day Monday. So not much of a cold front there. And then probably by the middle of next week, after we get through this heat wave, we will be dealing with at least a cool down and the breakdown of the ridging that's been occurring for the last number of weeks here. So we'll see a change in the pattern, get a little more unsettled. And that means more June monsoon rains and more active weather, more storms for me. So that's what I'm looking forward to by the middle and towards the end of next week.
Brandon, do you have any questions for Frankie?
Questions for Frankie. Oh, boy. I don't know if I do.
Like, has he ever tried using a...
Oh. Have you ever tried using a flamethrower, Frankie?
I don't use flamethrowers at all. Somebody photoshopped my face on the guy with a flamethrower. It wasn't true at all. I had addressed the false rumors that those guys in the States starting Photoshop false rumors about me.
Oh, my. I do have a flamethrower outside here, so you can stop by and use it any day you want to start a campfire. That's all we got to use it for, right? Start a campfire. A big bonfire. When the fire ban gets lifted here, when there's a fire ban, you get in trouble. I have my firefighting guy, Barry Yokiyama. He'll come over and have a chat with me if I use that flamethrower today. So
I do not use flamethrowers.
he knows where I live.
Someone started false rumors down in the States, photoshopped my face on a guy with a flamethrower. It's not true at all. I had addressed those false rumors. I had made a statement addressing the false rumors about I did not start the fires at all. That was some guys starting false rumors about me. It's not true.
Okay.
Those guys are called boneheads.
Yeah. Anyone else got questions for Frankie or Brandon before we move on?
Well, Frankie, I'm just going to throw it out there. I think if you're going to start a forest fire, you're going to be more creative than using a flamethrower. That just seems a little bit too lackluster. I think you're more of a hot ice guy. Yes,
Yeah.
hot ice is a real thing, just to clarify.
What's your favorite way to start a forest fire, Frankie?
Hot
No.
ice.
Lightning strike. Just imagine if you have a new kind of thrower. It's called ice thrower.
I like it. Ice thrower.
If you use some kind of similar to flamethrower, and if you use it, turn things into ice.
Right. Yeah. Totally like
Right
Iceman.
into me drink.
Iceman. So who wants to go next? We still haven't talked to Joe Stover. We still haven't talked to Hank Leistra. We still haven't talked to Image Cookie Bailey. Raise your hand if you want to go next. Joe Stover.
I should.
How's the weather been up there in Churchill, Manitoba? It's probably been pretty warm this week. I saw you seen,
Yeah.
seen.
It has been. It has been pretty warm. Sorry to put my hand up again because I'm going to have to duck out a little bit early once more. But I will tell you that it's been unseasonably warm here in northern Manitoba. Churchill has been has the last few days has had that forecast for 60% chance of potential of thunderstorms. We were once again skunked, as we always seem to be. I know it's kind of brutal, but yeah, the Hudson Bay is pretty much wide open. There's a little bit of ice left kind of in the middle of Hudson Bay, but obviously we can't see it. It's about probably 200 kilometers offshore or so. So we're starting to see polar bears again, which is a little odd for this time of year. The bay's been open now for a week and a half. Churchill River's wide open. The beluga whales are back. It's kind of nuts. We're kind of about 3 weeks early than we should be. And we did have a bit of that forest fire, low level smoke today that we got from the fires in northern Alberta, northern Saskatchewan. We got a bit of a reprieve now with a bit of the wind shifting, but it's looking like, according to Fire Smoke, it's looking like we're going to get some more of that smoke kind of circling back, kind of Monday, Tuesday-ish. So we'll see how it goes. But we're looking right now in terms of the long range forecast. Well, maybe not long range, but 7-day forecast is looking like we're going to be doing the kind of the wave, like it's going to be 20 this day, 5 the next day, 27 this day, 10 the next day. So it's a bit annoying, but at least we're getting some of that cool weather, because most people know I'm not a big fan of the warm weather. So that's kind of what's been going on here. Joey, I'm dying to know, why is it so smoky?
Well, apparently there are a number of things that are on fire.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that. Hey, also, Frankie was talking about, you guys were talking about El Nino, and anytime anybody talks about El Nino,
And because of El Nino, that's what I was going to say too.
And because of El Nino, I think of that Saturday Night Live sketch from like 30 years ago. You remember Chris Farley? I am El Nino. I am El Nino. El Nino is Spanish for the Nino. Yeah, it's one of the classic SNL skits, and every time you guys bring up El Nino, I just think of Chris Farley wearing the skin tight spandex with like the what do you call those things that are on a bike, like tassels? Is that what those are? Ultimate Warrior had them when he ran down the
tassels, fringe.
Don't pretend that you don't know what they're called.
It's
okay,
tassels.
I love tassels. I run a website called ilovetassels.com. Come on.
I thought they were called doilies.
No, that's what you put your tea on. Your teacup. Don't you put your saucer and tea on a doily? Anyway.
No, I put it on the table.
I missed that one. I have a question for Frankie. What is the weather like over there, Frankie? What is it like?
Right now, it's cold outside in Sydney, Nova Scotia, but it's foggy in Sydney, Nova Scotia as well. It's just cloudy out right now. No smoke in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Over here in Wilkie, Saskatchewan, we have plus 24 and the light breeze and smoke and the orange sun. Yeah. It's nice. And the mosquitoes are down this evening. I don't know where they went, because they were swarming me yesterday.
Just count your blessings. Don't ask where they are. Just enjoy that you don't have any.
Well, maybe it's between rounds. Like, we were camping at the wildfire camp there, and the first night, everyone got eaten by a whole lot of mosquitoes. It was really, really significantly atrocious. But then the second night, people were saying, wow, there's not that many mosquitoes. And I said, yeah, it's because they all filled up last night, and give them a day, they'll be twice. And so the next day, and then it also rained the next day too. Oh boy. Then the mosquitoes, let me tell you, they were buzzing around, and you've probably had things like that happen to you before.
I got a question for Frankie before I take off. What is the buzz with mosquitoes?
Buzz is like bees, wasps, hornets, and things like this.
Good enough for me. Joey, Imogen, Brandon, Frankie, and Hank, y'all take care. Hey, stay tuned for the rest of the show, you guys. It's a half hour of Joeless fun.
Right. And
brought
Joe,
to you by BuzzFeed.
You've known Frankie a long time. Have you ever seen him use a flamethrower of any kind?
No, I don't. I do not use flamethrowers at all.
I have not. I have not seen Frankie use a flamethrower, and even if he knew how, I'm sure he knows how to use a flamethrower, but even if Frankie wanted to, he would not, because he is a weatherman. He is not a flamethrower that starts forest fires. Frankie has said, what is this now, 83 times that he did not start the fire. Billy Joel also did not start the fire, but I don't know. I haven't seen Billy Joel put a statement out saying that he hasn't. So I guess we'll have to see.
That's why I did a statement. Well, individuals photoshopped my face on a guy with a flamethrower. It's not true.
So
it ain't
Hank,
true.
Hank Fleistra, anything else to say? Thanks, Joe. It was good to see Joe. If you're listening to us on C for 88.7 FM, CKW 95.9 FM, CFBX and Kamloops 92.5, and Shaw Spotlight. This is the Comedeorological Report. I'm your host, Joey Only, your show about how much the weather sucks. I'm here in Wells, British Columbia, where it's been really nice weather. Hank, you took some great photos this week. Want to just give us a little rundown on Saskatchewan's wicked week of thunderstorms?
Rundown on Saskatchewan. We've had in western and central Saskatchewan a very wet and unsettled and stormy last 6-7 days here, and in Saskatchewan and Saskatoon, I mean, particularly, it got quite a storm on Saturday last weekend. And they had a lot of rain in a short amount of time with strong wind gusts at times. I surprised I didn't see social media kind of blow up about that one. I don't know, people from Saskatoon, they're not easily impressed sometimes. They think that everybody else gets the storms and they don't want to admit when Saskatoon actually does.
Right. I got right here Frankie McDonald talking bobblehead. And if you push this button right here, it says, "It was a Photoshop. I did not start the fires. I have never used a flamethrower." And you notice if you have the Frankie McDonald action figure, it does not come with a flamethrower. Image Cookie Bailey,
Yes.
what about the fires down there on Vancouver Island this week?
They're flaming. Not much to say. Tofino is cut off right now. There's a evacuation route more or less for people wanting to leave, but it's pretty sketchy because it's all like logging roads. It's not generally considered a safe route for standard traffic. So it's not exactly advised to use the detour routes, but if you really got to get out of Tofino or into it, then that's kind of the way to go. So Cameron Bluff fires right now have kind of cut off Tofino. Tofino is not at risk of damage, but there's just no in or out right now. I mean, technically there is, it's just ill-advised. So that's what's going on there. Not a couple, but that's the one that's of concern right now. So it's contained. I hesitate to say under control because it's a forest fire and we don't really have as much control of that as we like until it's out, but it's contained. So it's not spreading, but it's not helping. So that's what's going on there. Tofino is off limits right now. So surfing, no one's doing a lot of surfing right now. Well, yeah, not much surfing. So there. I'm still going back to this hot ice thing. I'm saying Frankie's starting forest fires with hot ice or lightning bolts. That's his jam. The dude's like Zeus. He just whips lightning bolts around. Frankie, can you?
I don't use lightning bolts at all.
Why not? I've seen you, Frankie, buddy, Frankie, my love. How many times have we live streamed and you have just pulled a lightning bolt out of your back pocket and just thrown it like a javelin? All of a sudden, there's a big explosion. Transformers blowing up. You're knocking power out. You're just leveling ground.
Yeah, I've never actually seen
warned people to
Frankie
get them
use lightning
prepared.
bolts.
See, that is a form of preparation. It's when you've got those lightning bolts all queued up, ready to go. Buddy, you're ready for anything with that. You can take on anything. You can take on a full-on Sharknado with a lightning bolt. one of the things that I love
Sharknado
about
is
you.
weakness. Lightning's the weakness.
Lightning's the weakness. Wait, what?
Shark is weak against lightning.
That's very true. A shark cannot do anything if you throw a lightning bolt at it. So that is the one defense that you have. So in Frankie's next book, he will be addressing shark fights using lightning as a defensive mechanism. We'll go into that in the future.
Right. So here is this article. The El Nino has arrived today, Frankie. And it says we expect it to continue in the winter. There's like a bunch of numbers. It says there's a bunch of numbers, and and there you go. El Nino. It's happening. The circus is in town. We would know. So is it the month? Is start here? Is the monthly El Nino? And then you well, this time we're not saying no. So I don't even. No one here knows what those numbers mean. But apparently, yes is the answer. So think the Nino 3.4 SST will stay greater than 0.5 Celsius for the next several seasons. And clearly, the answer is obviously yeah. It looks like it. What does the atmosphere look like? And it's kind of like got some clouds and indications of a weaker Walker circulation, such as more rain over the central Pacific. Yes, that must be El Nino conditions. That's what's happening, according to Glenn Becker and Fiona Martin, who are some scientists. And so the Pacific Monthly Nino 3.4 index, which tracks the temperature of the surface of the tropical Pacific Ocean, was 0.5 Celsius above the long-term average. That's 1991 and 2020. According to the OISTA, the format followed the recent La Nina has been pretty remarkable. We even clocked at a 0.8 value. So, and then here's to look at. And so here it is. You can see it actually happening here. If where's the draw tool again? It was awesome. So here's this big blob. Right. And that's all hot water. Everyone, and then these people are like, where's our hot water going? Bring it back. Well, it's going out to here, to the middle of the equator. And that's going to have a lot of effects on everything in the planet, pretty much. Right, Brandon?
Yes. So that's when the ocean temperatures are above average from their typical temperature. That is what El Nino is. And when they're below average, that's called the La Nina. El Nino.
Yeah, and
La Nina.
I think the
Sounds
thing
spicy.
is that when you're talking about climate change, the El Nino is the jump in global temperatures in the climate. The La Nina gives you a little bit of a down, but we're not seeming to ever go down to the down that we once were. Then we have a new El Nino. It seems to jump a little bit higher, and we seem to set a new normal. So to me, like, this is the El Nino, La Nina is the new normal setting trend. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yep. We have typically what it does to our weather out west. It always develops above average temperatures and drier conditions, and sometimes more fire weather for Joey and Frankie. More
Less
fire weather.
episodes for, yeah. I didn't start the fires, just so you know. No one's ever even photoshopped a picture of me starting fires. But well, truthfully, I have started fires.
Working on that right now. Just kidding.
Truthfully, I have started. We've been ordered to start fires. Sometimes what happens is we do what's called a backburn operation. That's when we set a fire, and then usually the intensity of the heat that's going on somewhere already, or the wind conditions, will drive that in to burn up a whole bunch of unspent fuel, and thus would say prevent the fire from moving into that area with the fire activity, the aggressiveness, the behavior that might be really critically damaging. Right.
Sorry, that was loud.
Well, it was a little bit obnoxious.
That's what I do. Be obnoxious. That's how we do it.
So warmer than average weather for Alberta, maybe Western Ontario, Western Great Lakes, maybe drier for areas south of the Great Lakes, and then maybe wetter along the southern parts of the United States and whatnot, say Florida and Texas and California. Extended, the Pacific jet stream gets amplified across. It goes a little lower than maybe usual.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of the big story today, man. You know,
Oh,
we
yeah.
got Tumbler Ridge burning, and we got all indications that fire is going to be a story to come.
I think so. Yeah, it's going to be a fairly active year for fire, and it's already has been quite an active year so far. And we're in June.
Perhaps the next year after as well, right? So
yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
Out here in Saskatchewan, we have seen worse smoke than we've got so far this year. But this year might be second worst, and it's only barely beginning in June. And I guess the time we had worse smoke than this was also in the spring, but when Fort McMurray was on fire, and that's closer to me than these fires have mostly been in northwest Alberta, northeast BC. So they're a little bit, it's harder to get super smoky here when the fires are a little bit further away than they have been some years. And some years we've also had northern Saskatchewan just go up, and that's so far not too bad this year. Hopefully that continues a little bit.
So Frankie, here we have your friend Michael P. Mahone has been commenting. Is this the real Michael? He wanted bass guy.
It's the fake Michael P. Mahone. John Husser, Jack Husser. He disguised himself as the fake Michael P. Mahone.
That's what's going on. It says here Frankie never addressed the rumors after 500 times of you addressing them.
The Jack Husser, he's the guy that disguised himself as a fake Michael P. Mahone.
Well, who's John Paul George? He said bass guy shoe just got canceled off the internet for all time. What's happened to bass guy's shoe?
It's Jack Husser's the same guy. He's starting that disguised himself as a fake Michael P. Mahone.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy, man. Why would someone do that?
They don't know any better. They have nothing better to do.
I just can't believe that. Bass guy's shoe is canceled off the internet.
What color is the shoe?
What kind of shoe is it that would
SHOW?
What kind of shoe would make such a thing happen?
Probably a Nike, something like that.
And
that means John Husser, aka Jack Husser. He disguised himself as the fake Michael P. Mahone.
These guys are crazy. He wanted me to thumb wrestle Joe Stover. That's craziness.
On this, that's a long reach for a thumb, all the way from Wells to Churchill. Wow.
Well, everyone knows I don't thumb wrestle.
You don't, hey?
No. Everyone knows that.
Not a thumb war or anything like that,
Oh, I'll square up and fight just about anybody, but my thumbs, I know they're weak.
That means John Husser, aka Jack Husser, he disguised himself as a fake Michael P. Mahone. I found it.
I figured it out. And then it says, get this guy off the screen right now.
Which guy?
Which guy, Frankie?
Not me, eh? No, probably not.
Same guy.
Wow. Does he mean me? Get me off the? Or does he mean get? What does he mean?
He's just trolling around.
He's trolling around. So.
He's a troll.
Teenagers and trolls, eh, Frankie?
He lives under a bridge.
Yep. Lives under a bridge.
That kind of troll, eh?
John Husser, aka Jack Husser, disguised himself as a fake Michael P. Mahone.
I don't know if you can get really good internet underneath the bridge.
Probably not.
So the trolls have to come out, I guess.
Depends what kind of bridge it is, I guess. Where it's located.
I thought it was decided last time that the fake Michael Mahone was the troll and that the real one was the one that we wanted to see. Wasn't that the topic of conversation last episode?
Which one of these trolls is making Frankie have pictures of Frankie with flamethrowers in his hands.
Some other ones out there, just minor ones out there.
Teenagers, hey?
Just some minor ones. Like there's major trolls and there's minor trolls in Frankie's world.
Frankie has a lot of fans, and they're all there's a lot of artistic diversity in amongst his fan base. That's half the fun of it.
And there's clowns and trolls.
And know-it-alls. Oh yeah. Clowns,
And-
trolls, and know-it-alls.
Well, yeah, of course there's know-it-alls. I mean, he's on. This is the show featuring a number of know-it-alls. I've been accused of being a know-it-all a couple times before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I know you have too. Do
Oh,
you want to know why I know?
why is that? Is that because
I
I'm
know
judging a
it all.
karaoke contest? on
And
Saturday?
Joey,
Because
some
I
of those-
know it all.
Some of those other young teenagers try to manipulate me. It's not your rider.
No, you know, right, Frankie? Do you know it all?
Some of those young teenagers probably try to manipulate me. Some of those guys up in North up UK that says, Frankie, you answer this right now.
Why would they say that? You answer this or that
They
right
don't
now.
know any better.
Such weird behavior. Like, where do these? Who raised these people?
I probably wouldn't answer it right now. Oh,
No,
that's it.
So it's a couple
Yeah.
of individuals up in the United Kingdom too.
I would say, beat it, human.
Beat
They
it,
don't know
troll.
any better.
Get lost with your human stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
My son and I are gonna hit the beach this weekend.
Oh, the beach.
You guys ever do that, Frankie? You ever go to the beach? Do you hit the beach sometimes?
Did you hear about this? I got something to say. There's a lot of clowns and trolls out there. That guy named Jack Husser, he disguised himself as fake Michael B. Mahone.
Right. So with El Nino coming, someone's asking in the comments on the YouTube live stream here, which you can always tune into. Joey Only Care Be Weather Do. We live stream at 7 p.m. usually before that Pacific time every Thursday night. So that's what we do. So someone was asking what are the long-term trends for Western Canada, and really the long-term trend is dry and above average warm. I mean, so that's what El Nino signifies, that we are not going to get any wetter really as we go into the summer. And the concern with fires over the next number of days with lightning, there's tourists walking by my place and they're looking at it, with like my God, what's that place? Yeah. So here I am, the freak of Wells, British Columbia.
Hey, Joey,
Hi, tourists.
how is your recruiting going for your fire crews?
Oh, we had some fitness tests last night at I went and took part in, and I didn't take part in the fitness test. No, I held the stopwatch and made those kids run the fitness test. And occasionally when they'd come around, I'd say, faster, for crying out loud. And Benson would say, good work, good work. I'd say, pick up the pace. And they both passed. Really, so really proud of them. Good jobs. So 2 new recruits potentially out to fight fire in British Columbia this summer. Can't wait for them. I know how wonderful it is to get your first fire. People's minds, the first time they see flames, are just like, whoa, this is it. It's happening. And then all of us who've been in fires a lot are like, oh yeah, some flame over there, and there's a couple flamers back here. Should we go get it, boss? It's in the middle. Settle down, kids. So anyways, yes, it's going really well. And I got my phone back for everybody who was wondering. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was in a crew truck. And
Proof. We need proof. Did you already buy a new one though?
No, because
Oh,
I'm
good.
like yourself, quite Dutch and dare I say cheap.
Hey, Joey, your phone has
Proudly.
reunited with you. That means you better be careful. Make sure you don't lose it next time.
No, I won't lose it next time, Frankie. Definitely won't.
It was gone, what, 8-10 days or something before you got it back?
2 weeks, basically. Yep, 2 weeks. So last night, one of the fire crews was heading north. And after we did the fitness test there, I went to Benson's house and sat and waited. And they were pretty. And then it got dark, and we told lots of jokes and waited, and schemed about what we might do this summer, and then waited. Then suddenly, Joe was there, Joe Lancaster, and we went to 7-Eleven, and there was 3 of the people that I was on fire with last time, and it's just hugs and good luck this summer, and hope you will probably see you up there with next day. Oh, thank you for the phone, and how do I unsubscribe from? And yeah, it was really wonderful to see them. It was great.
That must have been like, how in the world did we ever survive like this 10 years ago, right? When you were without a phone for 10 days, for 2 weeks?
Well, honestly, I've only had this thing for like a year, and it's not even a phone. See, it looks like a phone, but it's not actually a phone. It's not really one. Like you can't. There's a cell tower they've built in Wells a year ago, and you can, if you had a phone, you could call with that cell tower. But I don't have a phone. It looks like a phone.
Just without cellular.
Yes. Yes. So
But you have a couple of apps on there that you can use, hey?
yes, it's
Mhm.
lots of videos, and yeah, I mean, of course I can use the Wi-Fi on it and this and that, but no, it's not hooked up to cell service because this internet video company that I worked with last year didn't treat me very well, didn't pay me, and I returned everything but the phone to them. Said, to hell with you, if you're not going to pay me, then I'm going to keep this as collateral. And they called the police, and I convinced the cop that this had nothing to do with there was a civil matter, and he said, you're totally right. And I kept the phone, and so all she could do at that point was lock it out so I can't actually use it as a phone. Nonetheless, it's got a 4K camera on it, and it's got my Joey stuff, my messenger and my radar scope and windy and everything I could possibly need in there. And it's a pretty handy thing to have. It's my video camera, it's got tons of footage on there that I still hadn't put on my computer. So I thought it fell out of my pocket at Bijou Falls and in the middle of the night. And
Hey, Joey, Trevor's Happy Hour will return on June 18th.
My God. Frankie, where can people find you on the internet?
My Twitter's at Frankie MacD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD984. My TikTok is FrankDown984. My Clapper is FrankDown984. My Twitch is FrankDown984. My Snapchat is Frankie AmyCDON. My YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. And my LinkedIn's Frankie MacDonald. Best luck to you. I'm Frankie Down. You're listening to Comedeorological Weather Report. Joy only every Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Atlantic.
That's Frankie McDonald, and he did not even just a little bit, not even a tad, not even a smidgen, use a flamethrower. I'm Joey Only, the Caribou Weather Dude. You can find this show on Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel, of course, and on CFBX, CFUR, CKDUW, Shaw Spotlight. Thanks everybody for putting up with me being gone sometimes on fires, but try to make it worth it for you. Try to do our best in the meantime to send our best wishes to everybody in Tumbler Ridge. And we will just, before we go right now, take a look at, it may take me a minute here to get the right radar feed. But Brandon and I were looking at this today, and this is the image of basically the fire moving out of Tumbler Ridge, moving into Tumbler Ridge. Give me 1 second here. So you got that now?
Yep.
Okay. So this doesn't look too crazy, but we think the fire behavior settled down a little bit as it's gotten cooler. But this is what we're going to show you. We're going to show you over the last bunch of hours. So at 2 o'clock, I hit pause and it just doesn't pause. So here you can basically see the fire growing, moving towards Tumbler. It's coming from the east to the west. Again, the same sort of repeated bizarre fire behavior that we've had this year. So the community of Tumbler under threat. So far from what I see on radar, it looks like that maybe things are okay for this evening. For now, we're just going to hope for the best for everybody. And as the fire season goes on, we know there's going to be some bad stories. There's going to be some hard times. There's going to be some scary moments. Keep calm. Realize that this is probably the new normal of climate change, that there's going to be a lot more fires and there's going to be a lot of hot, and we got the El Nino happening. It's going to happen. So don't think it can't happen to
That's
me.
going to cause a lot of fires in Kazakhstan, Mongolia, Siberia, and northern Siberia, things like this, and Africa and Amazon rainforest, and a lot of brush fires in Australia, possible New Zealand.
Don't think it can't happen to me. Don't feel like a victim. Don't panic. I know those are hard things to say, or easy things to say, but hard to do. But what you're going to have to do at times, British Columbia, is be brave.
There could be a lot of brush fires in Argentina and forest fires in parts of Chile.
What you're going to have to do sometimes, British Columbia, is be brave, is get to safety, keep a calm mind, just get through those moments. And I know you can do it. All right, this is the Comedeorological Report. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Okay. Anyone got anything to say?
Hmm.
Good stuff. Good show. Thank you.
Good seeing you again, Hank.
Was a pretty good show. Frankie's already gone.
Frankie.
And you know where he's gone? He's gone to the flamethrower store.
He thought that was pretty hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Frankie did. He was laughing, man.
Yeah.
Frankie's a giggly guy.
We know how to get him going. The dry humor really gets him.
Oh man, the absurd. You ever see Frankie like fall over laughing? He goes red, he giggles, he makes weird snortle sounds. I've seen Frankie hit the deck because he's cracking right up, and it's from really absurd stuff out of nowhere. It just like you blindside him with it and he loses it.
It's true. He's a sweetheart, and he's really funny, and he knows he's funny. He knows he's being funny.
Oh, yeah. Even if he's serious, he's funny.
Yeah, even when he looks serious, he's sometimes pretty funny. So I've put some new. Oh, look at my friend Vic is taking his Dangerous Tree Assessors course. I see pictures of that on Facebook. So right on, Victor Bell, get your DTA tickets. That's what I got to do next week. And then once I got my DTA ticket renewed, our crew is then, for all intents and purposes, ready. And I got a banging crew lineup, I think, coming together for this next time out. So pretty stoked. But getting my Dangerous Tree Assessor ticket, that's an important one. That's the DTAs were the ones that go in and determine if it's safe to work in a place or not. So I can go anywhere I want, in a sense, on a wildfire. You know, not like I can go anywhere I want, because obviously you have orders and it's like, this is your section. Can you, but what I mean is there's I'm not restricted necessarily into how I recce, or I'm the one that goes and does that.
Oh, okay.
Whereas other people, maybe if they're gonna go do something in the forest beyond just walk through, set up a hose line or hose lay, you really need the de-injury assessor to go through first to make sure that things aren't going to come falling down on your head in there. Because I don't know how many times this last tour, there was a day, for example, where we'd come into an area and I think we had 3 DTAs on our crew. So that was, kind of all-starish. But, we flagged a tree quickly and then went and sat in a log a little ways back, about 40 feet from it. And about 2 minutes later, as we're sitting there having a drink of water, watch the tree go, I was like, flag it, watch it fall.
Yeah.
But that's, kind of the point, right? Is to get a faller in there or to get set up a no work zone or whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna sign out, Joey. Thanks, guys. I got
Thanks,
my
Hank.
son was down here trying to convince me to do some of the dishes, wash some of the dishes. We still wash dishes the old-fashioned way in our house. Now, we only have 3 people living here, and that way he won't have to wash as many, right? If I wash some of the dishes first, so maybe I'll do that. Help him out. Anyway, see you guys.
I think that kids should be forced to wash dishes.
Earn your allowance.
Yes.
Earn your keep.
We had to do it.
Yeah.
Definitely a good reason to pass it on.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's just 3 of us left now, and that makes for a weird triangle, which is terrible for broadcasting. So
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go do other stuff.
Other stuff.
I've got like 5 projects I'm in the middle of right now. So I'm out. See you next time.
I'm like, yeah, okay. Now the weird triangle's gone.
That's just the box.
Yeah. I got things I got to be doing too, like, starting to work on the show, like working on my score on World of Warships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess I got to work on my sleep, so I get up ridiculously early, morning show, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, fair enough, man.
Uh,
That's the hell you have to live in.
Morning show stuff. Yeah.
Morning show hell. You could have been the afternoon guy, but
Could have been.
Didn't
Well,
go
I'm
to
kind of all
college.
day, but more on top of it in the morning compared to the rest of the day. Well, unless there's severe weather, then I'm 12 hours.
good to see you as always, man. Have a good
Oh,
week.
yeah. Good to see you too.
Well, talk to you lots, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
And
I'll
to
be-
everybody out there, thanks for coming along and tuning in and hearing our take on the weather.
That's right. I'll be in another. I forgot to mention I'm going to be in a parade on Saturday morning too. So.
Oh yeah, a parade, eh?
Parade. Yeah, a rodeo parade. It might put me up front again. I don't know. They did that last year. They said they saw Brandon in the vehicle. Better put him in the front of the parade, lead the parade. So you might do that again. I don't know.
My God, where will your fame take you in Brooks?
And then doing karaoke that night, judging it. Oh yes. That's when the fame will start to go down when I start judging karaoke.
God, I hate karaoke. As a guy who's been a professional musician a lot of his life, I
Yeah.
have pretty defined pitch hearing and and then just the songs people pick.
Like we didn't start the fire, that one.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Oh, there's some bad ones. There's some. Oh, I guess I'll find out Saturday if there's any good ones.
So they should get a point in your marking scheme for choosing a good song.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
I'll
a lot of
do
people are
that.
going to choose this just random crap. And then, on top of that, you're going to be like, so you chose random crap and then you performed it equally. So
Yeah.
you lose points for both, like for choosing the bad song. It's like you
Yeah.
chose Celine Dion and you hammered it to fuck. So you get double disqualified.
Oh yeah. I don't know how many other judges are going to be there, but I know I'm going to be. I can be a tough person if I want to be.
Yeah, well, they'll probably have some like Chamber of Commerce lady
Yeah,
who's like,
Chamber.
"Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was so wonderful. Well done.
Way
I'm
to
sitting there
go!"
like, oh boy, that was terrible. And
So,
I'm even bad at karaoke and singing. Oh, I wouldn't want.
so if there is that woman, make sure that you're extra harsh on your marking to counteract her terrible taste,
Well, I actually
or
judged.
just complete lack thereof.
Yeah, I actually judged ribs last year too, and
Yeah,
I was
that's
pretty harsh
awesome.
on that too because
No one minds a rib judging contest.
yeah, I was a little harsh on a couple of them because they were really dry. Like,
Right? Let's see your
put
ribs.
too much sauce, or I don't know what else. I thought it was way too saucy, some of them, and they was like, "Why did you judge these so low?" Well, because
See, I got.
I mean, like ribs, this stuff you eat, right?
Yeah, I know. Judge my ribs, Brandon. Like they're pale.
Hell, that's
I wear work
pale
clothes
ribs.
outside, Brandon.
That's right.
It's not my
Yeah.
fault. And you're like, put barbecue sauce on them.
There you go. It's just like suntan lotion.
Yeah. That sounds good. Well, okay. I guess that's all for this week, everybody. And be safe out there, and good luck to everybody in the Peace Country once again. It's been a good funny start, and I'm not here to predict that it's going to be any better coming. So good luck to you all out there. We'll see you on this channel or next week or wherever.